Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 9 and a merry midwinter to all of you. So today we are going through and we're doing a bit of a different build around the place. Today we're actually going to be doing our Midwinter Down Under build. Now the idea behind this is that Midwinter is of course based off of Christmas, which in 90% of the world is a snowy affair, and that is what most people are doing for their midwinter builds. They're doing interesting snowy type builds, and I need to get rid of the block runner boots because otherwise they will keep placing blocks in underneath me as I run through this. But yeah, so everybody else is kind of doing like snowy, festive midwinter builds, and I live in Australia. So in Australia it is currently in the 30 degrees, and it will get up to somewhere near 100 Fahrenheit. I don't really know the Fahrenheit scale too well, but I do know that it's going to get up that high at some point over the Christmas period. So obviously the snow and the ice don't really measure up with what I know as Christmas in Australia. So we're going to go through and we're going to do a Midwinter Down Under build and build what it's like to have Christmas in Australia. So as you can see, we've started with a desert town because of course Christmas in Australia is quite hot, so most of us do it over by the beach. So this up here, I've just already placed down a grass pad. This is going to be our little kind of start area. We're probably going to build a pub and a fish and chip shop up here, and of course the Christmas tree for the entire town to enjoy, because we still do have Christmas trees here in Australia. And then we're going to jump down to here, and this sand is going to be our beach, and then we're going to build an ocean out that way. So a lot of this I think I'm going to do with the Blueprint Studio, because especially the waves and things, we can do those with the Blueprint Studio and then just kind of copy and paste them over and over again, and also buy all the materials that way so that we don't have to go out and collect a whole bunch of sea sand from the sea sand desert, or whichever palette of the desert has the sea sand in it. So obviously right now I am in the midst of clearing off this island. Got a whole bunch of stuff we need to get rid of out of here. I have a little chest and a little setup over there that's going to be my crafting area for this build. But I'm thinking this build isn't going to take too long. Today's episode we should be able to get a good majority... Oh, sorry, Fennec Fox. We should be able to get a good majority of the stuff that I want to get done. So that's great, because of course this video here is actually going to go out on Christmas Eve, so it would be a perfect time to get a whole bunch of Christmassy type things done, or midwintery type things, I guess I should say. So yeah, as I said, I'm just going to go through, clear the island off, and once we've done that, we'll head over to a Blueprint Studio, and we will look at doing up the wave system that I want to put down out over the back. And once we have an idea of what the waves are going to look like, we'll shore up the beach line, or shore up the shoreline, I guess I should say, because obviously I'm going through and collecting a whole bunch of sand out of this stuff as well. Yeah, so this shouldn't be too bad. This should be a good fun little build just to celebrate the midwinter here in SkySaga, and that was not what I wanted to do, but that's okay. Anyway, I'm going to clear this place off, and I'll meet you guys in the Blueprint Studio. Okay, so here we are in the Blueprint Studio. So I'm going to start by laying down a baseline. Now, the grass pad that we had was made out of 3 lots of a 25 wide block pad. So I'm going to try and do the same thing here, and I forgot my caps lock. So let's just quickly throw the caps lock on, and we want to build out to 25 blocks wide, a little bit further, 2, 3. Now I'm going to do a 25 by 25 square to start with, and then once we have the 25 by 25 square, that will let me know. Yep, so there we go, that seems to be 25 by 25. So this is going to let me know where I can place sand and where I can't place sand, or where I can place my water, I guess I'm going to call it. Yeah, so where all of that stuff is going to go. So now, oops, we've got that. Let's just quickly take off the boots, I think. So now I've got that, what I want to do is actually make some kind of waves in here. So I want to kind of go in this way and down and up, and just make some like little rolling waves, just small ones, I think, especially at the front. Maybe we'll do a bigger couple at the back, and what I want to try and do is off-center them a little bit. So what I mean by that is I want the wave to start in these 3 blocks, but end in like these 3 blocks, because that way when I stack them all together, I can stack them a little bit off of each other, and we can have something that looks kind of nice and wave-like, I guess, is what I'm going to say there. So I'm going to just jump into this and try and add some waves down. I'm not going to do this on camera because there is every chance this is going to go wrong the first like 12 times I attempt to do it. So let's make a quick cut here and see what we can get out of these waves. So this is not too bad. I mean, it looks kind of like a wave. Now, what I'm actually thinking I'm going to do is, rather than attempt to kind of copy this back further or do anything like that, I'm going to remove this extra scaffolding off the back here and set the blueprint up as just this one wave, and then we're going to copy that one wave and use that one wave like multiple times down the beachfront. Maybe doing it a couple of times backwards and a couple of times forwards, and just kind of mess around with it, do some different things with it, and see what we can get out of it. This is actually quite a big wave now that I look at it, so I might make another one that's about the same size but a smaller rolling wave, and yeah, we'll just end up using a whole bunch of these to create out the ocean line or the shorefront and all of that kind of stuff that we're going to do. I also quickly want to do up a just a block of sea sand so that I can actually put that down and purchase all the sea sand in that, and then I can use that for whatever I need to use it for around the build, because of course there are going to be places where I need to add or remove sea sand as I go through and do this build. So hopefully we can do one of those up as well, and then we should be good to go and start building this really cool midwinter or midsummer island, I guess this really is. So things are coming along quite well. As you can see, this is our first wave being placed down. Now, the first wave is this one is being set a little bit further back than I want the actual shoreline. So the full shoreline is probably going to come up to like here, I think I'm going to build sea sand all the way up to, but that's a pretty big wave. So I figured what I would do is I'd build 2 or 3 of these guys kind of stacked further out, because you do get bigger waves further out than you do smaller waves. So kind of I'm going to build, I don't know, like a 1 block high run of sea sand all the way up to somewhere up here, and we'll run some smaller waves, just like I'll just like 1 block high waves running down the edge here. But for now, what we need to do is we need to go through and finish all of these blueprints. Now I'm just going to be paying for the materials because that's the easy way to go about this. Here we go. It's only going to cost me 700 knots for each of these. That is not a bad deal at all. Complete. Boom, there we go. So we've got 1 of our sea sand waves in place, and yeah, like I said, I'm just going to buy all of these because it's going to work out really well for me. Buy that. Yes, thank you very much. And complete. Done. Not a problem. So I think the next thing I am going to need to do very soon after this is to buy just a block of sea sand. So I'm going to go through and make that blueprint up and buy just a block of sea sand, because I have a lot of sea sand I want to place with the boots of placing, but I don't have any sea sand to do that with. So I'm going to have to go through and basically do the same thing, but just do it in a cube and then farm it all back out again with the demolition pickaxes. However, I think I'll do that after I've placed in the very next wave. So let's go ahead and place that guy in. Also, don't need to worry about these orange spokes down under here. Eventually, this whole area is going to be covered in sea sand, so you won't be able to see those anyway, and mostly they're just knocked out from underneath the island, as you can see. I went through here and I was harvesting up some stone at one point and had a bit left over, so I thought I would just use it here and now to build some scaffolding. Anyway, let's throw down the very next wave. Okay, so the main 3 waves are now in place and things are looking pretty good. We now need to go through and place the rest of the sea sand down. So this is what this is over here. This is just a big sea sand block that I've done with blueprint. So I've just got a big sea sand projector. If I throw one of these down, you just have a quick look, and you can see it is literally just a block of sea sand. So that's perfect for what we need, because I don't really feel like going out and collecting all this, and it wasn't all that expensive. So I'm going to go rattling through here with the demolition pickaxe, collect up all of the sea sand, and then we can go through and place it down over there with the boots of placing. So hopefully this goes pretty quickly. Oh, and of course, I need to put something else in my other hand, because otherwise actually, let's just take those boots off. Oh, there we go. Okay, problem solved. Right, let's move on through and get going with the actual beach area over there. So things are starting to really move along here. As you can see, we have our water and waves in place, so that's looking really good. Oh, we're getting some random desert foxes spawn down here. Now I need to go through and fix up. There's some little holes in some of this stuff that I need to go through and fix up, but that I'll do, I think, a little bit later, because I have some really cool plans for what's going to go on out in this water section. So the next thing, of course, to do is to go through and do up the beach. So I went out and I collected up some sun sand, and I also collected up a whole bunch of earthwood blocks, because we're going to run a bit of a wall between here and there. So the kind of the sand up to here is going to have wall all the way up. I might add a staircase down or something. Actually, I have a bit of an idea as to what I want to do around here, because this is actually based on a township that I know down near where I go for Christmas every year. So I'm kind of very loosely basing it off somewhere that actually exists in real life. So we'll see how I go in terms of getting this pretty close to that. Hopefully we can do at least a little bit of justice for it. Now, I'm thinking the first thing that we want to do actually is to lay down all of our sand, because like I said, I went and got a fair bit more sand, so I want to join the sand out to the edges over here. So as you can see, I'm not going full width of the world or anything, I'm just going out this far, and I think this is 75 blocks wide from memory. And once we've got this out, we're actually going to build up some extra kind of sand patches like this that are just a little bit higher than the current sand patch, because we don't want it all to be on the same plane. That's just not going to make any sense or look any good at all. So let's grab out our boots of placing. I think I'm already wearing them. Yes, there we go. Awesome. Let's go ahead and place all of this sand down. Here we go. So we're actually getting pretty close now in terms of actual structure. Now, on the whole, it's not looking all that Christmassy right now, but that is fine. That's exactly... well, that's okay at the moment. So this is where we are at. So we've got the beach in place. As you can see, I've got my nice little like raised section of sand. Then I've got my drop down, and then I've actually got the ocean out here. Now, these three fennec foxes always seem to spawn in this exact place, and for some reason seem to have lost their AI. So I'm thinking what I might do is I might actually put down like a boogie board or something for those little guys to be sitting on. Just for the moment, I don't know. If they continue to lose their AI and just keep spawning in that spot, then I'll definitely do it, because that way at least they will continue to be there every single time. So yeah, this place is coming along quite well. The next little bit I need to work on is this top section up here. Need to build up a place for the Christmas tree, because of course right now this is not looking very Christmassy. It is looking very beachy, but that's fine. It is supposed to look pretty beachy. But of course, yeah, the next trick is to go through and add down our Christmas tree. It's going to be out the back here somewhere. You're going to have a pub off one side and a fish and chip shop off the other. We also need to put a jetty in, probably around about where I've got this. So it's probably going to start about here, I would say. But we're just going to knock out a couple of blocks to do that as well. So this is all going to go pretty quickly now, because I'm going to try and push and see how fast I can get this done. Sorry, Mr. Fox. So yes, let's keep moving on. We'll do some of the jetty and we'll do some of the Christmas tree, and we'll see how things are sitting. And things are starting to take a little bit more shape. So up on the land up the top here, you can see that we've got a roadway in place, and down in the middle we've got a little bit of a roundabout, which is where the tree is going to go. And then over this side, we have a nice jetty that heads out towards the ocean. So obviously at the moment, this is just a floating jetty, but we will construct pylons and legs and things underneath in a little bit. But for now, I actually need to go through and add all of the white markers to this road. And then we're probably going to add some sidewalk, I think. I haven't really decided how I want to do that yet. I've done roads before, but not quite this thin. So I'm not sure exactly how well that's going to work. I've got a couple of ideas, but we'll try those in just a minute. I'm going to quickly head on through here, place down the rest of this stuff, and I might actually even start on the base of this Christmas tree. And some more progress. So now the tree is starting to take shape. As you can see, it's going to be quite a big tree that we're going to have going on here. So I'm going to kind of stack the tiers a little bit differently. So normally when you build like pyramids, I guess you would do kind of one layer per ring. and by that I mean per ring diameter. But as you can see, I've got 1 layer here, and then 2 here, and then 2 there, and we're going to have 3 for the next layer, and probably 3 or 4 for the layer after that, and then we'll have a big shining star sitting on top of the tree. And also now it's kind of daytime, so we can have a bit of a better look at this place. I think it's coming along quite well. I definitely like where all this stuff is going. I really do need to remember to come back down in under here and place down the boardwalk pillars, or the the jetty pillars. That's what I was trying to say. So I have an idea as to what I want for those jetty pillars, but we'll have to come back to those in just a little bit to see what we can do about those things. Anyway, lots of stuff still left to do. I am going to try and get as much of this done in today's episode as I possibly can. But yeah, here we go. This is just a quick little update on the tree. Once we've got the tree in place, obviously we're going to go over to the City of First Light and buy a whole bunch of decorations to sprinkle around this thing, because we do need a whole bunch of stuff to make this actually look like a Christmas tree rather than just like a regular old tree. But yeah, coming along pretty well. We're also probably going to need to grab a couple more of the grass blueprints and place those down behind here as well, so that we can actually have some space to build up the things that I want to build up, the pub and the fish and chip shop. Although I'm not sure if those are going to get done in today's episode. I really just want to make sure I've got the jetty and the tree mostly done before we move on and finish this episode. Okay, so now we've got some extra decorations. We also had a few different colors of Midwinter leaf on sale, so I grabbed a couple of those as well, just so that when we can actually make the Midwinter tree, which I'm hoping we'll be able to make after we go to the treasure island, we'll go ahead and make some red and some green Midwinter trees. So that's going to be pretty cool. Now, I've also grabbed some spider web, and this is going to be for the next part of the build. So, like I said, I've got some decorations. I started slowly doing some decorations on the tree, as you can see. So this is starting to look pretty good. I also went through and grabbed some bloodstone and some rose sand, because these are going to be used as kind of tinsel around the tree. So we're going to head on through and do that in just a second. But the big thing we're going to do here is we've got 28 snowmen. So we're going to have snowmen kind of down enjoying the sunny day on the beach, just completely, because that is completely ridiculous. That's exactly why we're doing this, because of course snowmen would never ever enjoy a day at the beach. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do. That's the plan. I'm thinking too, so why I've got these large spider webs here is, what I'm thinking is that we could actually set up some form of like volleyball court, almost like beach volleyball. So that's kind of what I want to do. Let's see if we can just do this. I want to see what this actually looks like when we set these webs down up in the air and just next to each other, because they could actually look quite cool as a volleyball court or a volleyball net. That's at least my thinking right now. So here we go. Okay, they're going to look a little interesting as a volleyball net, but I think they will work. Obviously, I'm going to need to get them a little bit closer together, but for now, as a bit of a proof of concept, not too bad. Not too bad at all. I wish I had some white ones left over. I don't think I have any of those. I'll have to go chest hunting, as I've got a lot of different chests and a lot of different published islands right now. I need to go through and have a look for the actual white versions of those. Another thing I want to do is go through all of the sidelines here and create footpath. Yes, footpath. That's what I was going to say. So we're going to do footpath with some cornice pieces, I think is the plan right now. Originally, I've done these before with stone altars, so I was going to do that again. However, I don't have the recipe, and also the stone altars are too wide, which means that they are actually too wide to make interesting looking pathway for this road. So yeah, we're going to go through and I'm going to build up a whole bunch of that. As you can see, I've got a couple of masonry saws over here, so that should be enough to pile through that work and get all of that done. Oh, and yeah, these things look really cool. That's going to look great as a setup for the snowmen. So we're going to have a couple of snowmen down here playing beach volleyball. We're going to have a couple of snowmen up here, maybe near a park bench or something. And then I think we're going to have a couple of snowmen surfing as well. At least that's the idea in my head right now. So we'll see how all of that stuff goes. Okay, so as the sun goes down, this place is looking a whole lot more festive. First off, we actually have railing or legs underneath our pier. So that's making that whole thing look just a little bit better. We're starting to get some snowmen enjoying the summer activities. So we've got some snowmen that are about to lay down and sunbake. We've got some snowmen that have built themselves a little castle, which is quite cool. And then we have some snowmen playing volleyball over here, or at least beach volleyball. So I've made the ball out of amberstone chunks, as you can see on the screen right now. And I kind of like this. It looks really, really good. Or at least better than I was expecting it to. We've also got this little dude up here who's about to sit down at a picnic table. And over here, as you can see, I have added in some different colored streamers and ribbons and tinsel and things around the edges of the tree. And I think the tree is pretty much done now. I think there's going to be like maybe a few more bits and pieces that I add to it. But it's going pretty well. Now, I've also gone through and added down the sidewalk here. So the sidewalk has just been done with cornice pieces, just like this. Now, I was planning on, as I mentioned before, I was planning on going through and doing this as a full like town and doing like a pub and a fish and chip shop and stuff. But I really want to get you guys over here and have you guys come over and have a look at this place pretty soon. So what I'm thinking is, instead of that, we are just going to finish off a few kind of smallish touches in terms of snowmen and bits and pieces. And then we're going to publish this island and have it finished and ready for you guys. So what I want to do is I want to fill out some space over here. As this is obviously an Australian midwinter, we need a barbecue, obviously. So I've got some floor braziers that we're going to have stacked around the place to do a barbecue up. We're going to have to, yeah, I don't know, make up some kind of like table setting, I think, over here for the barbecue. And I still haven't actually got around to, but I really, really want to come out here and we're going to make up some surfboards. So what I'm thinking is we're going to do surfboards out of wood, just like this. Or maybe we go one off, just like that. And so I'm going to have one that you guys can stand on when you come over here, and I'm going to have one that a snowman is standing on. So let's do that actually together on camera right now. So here we go. This is our one for our snowman, and we're going to place him down just like that. And check it out, he actually looks like he's surfing. That is really, really cool. I wish I had something slightly better to do the surfboards out of, but I don't think I do. Actually, I might be able to put a cornice piece in the front to make them look a little bit better, make them look a little bit more like surfboards, because right now they do just look like logs of wood, which is not really all that great. I mean, that's actually the other good point. I could probably use a grate, although they are made out of iron, so that will look a little bit heavy going through and doing that. I'm not sure what I want to do just yet. We'll leave the surfboards as they are right now, and we'll see. I might just leave them exactly like that as we move on through and finish this place up. And there we go, one festive build complete. Now, if we have a bit of a look around, a little bit has changed, but not a whole lot. So we've still got our surfing snowman over here and our surfboard for any of you to come along and take photos on. We've got our snowmen down over here building sandcastles and playing beach volleyball and about to do suntan and things. I've also decked out the railings a little bit, so I changed the railings up and I added some wreaths and some lights to those. This little guy over here is still on his own. Maybe we should put down another couple of snowman buddies for him. There we go. Let's just throw down one over here and one over there. Beautiful. All right, so now that guy's not alone. The Christmas tree, midwinter tree, hasn't changed at all. Over here we've added some extra stuff. So we've added a couple of tables that these snowmen are starting to set up. We've also added a little bit of a barbecue going on, so you can see there is meat in there. Snowmen apparently like bear meat, but there you go. That's their preference. And of course there is a little side table that usually has salads and things on it, which they're setting up in preparation for the feast. But yeah, so that's it. This place is now done. I know I wanted to add in buildings and stuff over the back here, but I don't think it needs it. I think it is good the way it is. And I don't really want to ruin it by overcomplicating the build. I think it's fun, and I think the snowmen being around and doing funny little things give it enough charm that it doesn't really need anything else going on. So I think the final thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our airship. I'm going to place it up over here on the roadway so that you spawn in on top of the road, and that'll be it. I'll just have to clean up and publish this island. So this island should be up and public by the time this video goes live. So yeah, come over here and check it out and have a bit of a look around, see what you can see. Obviously I've shown off a fair amount of this one on video, but it is still worth coming over and having a look, I think. Anyway, that is going to be it for me for this video. So happy holidays to everybody out there watching this. I'm probably going to take a bit of an easier week over next week. I think I'm only going to do a Thursday video next week, just because I'm going to be away, and of course it is holiday season as well, so we'll just do a Thursday video next week, but then we'll get back to the regular recording schedule as soon as the new year kicks off, so I will see you for all of that.